Hey crafty friends, it's Stacy at Stacy Makes Things and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be showing you how to easily personalize your own luggage tags with your Cricut machine. It's a fun and easy way to add a little personal touch and brighten up your travel bags. Alright, so let's dive in. So let's start off talking about supplies. So I really wanted to find some fun colored luggage tags, and I came across this set on Amazon, and you can see they have so many fun colors, and I just thought it would be perfect for what I was trying to do for this project. So I'm going to use just two of the luggage tags, the pink one and the blue one, because I'm planning to do one each for my kiddos. Now I'm going to remove them from the plastic and show you a little bit what they look like. And they're a nice soft faux leather material, and they've got an insert for your information card and a little cover to have more privacy of your information, which is kind of nice. So these are the two that I'm going to work with. And then I found this bright neon iron-on vinyl from Cricut that I thought would go really well and add a nice pop of color to the luggage tags. And then I am going to use my Cricut Joy Extra Cutting Machine. And I will also be using my Cricut Mini Press. So let's head over to Cricut Design Space on my desktop. And here I've got my design open. I went with a simple design using my kids' initials. And I took some measurements of the luggage tag and created these rectangles as a guide to help me make sure I have everything measured correctly and sized correctly. And I found this simple blocky Cricut font to use for my letters and added a nice little shadow effect to the letters. And now my design is ready, and I'm going to get this ready to cut, and I'm going to hide these rectangles since they were just a guide and I don't want to cut them. And then I'm going to select Make. And now we're previewing the different mats for each of the colors that we will cut out. And so we have a white one, an orange one, and a yellow one. And because this is an iron-on vinyl project, we have to make sure that the images get cut out mirrored. So I'm going to select Mirror. And you can go ahead and cut out all the different mats, but I like to cut out everything at once. And one way to do that is to move the images from the other mats to one mat. So I'm going to leave the first mat as is, and I'm going to go to my second orange mat and select the image, the letter A, and click on the three dots and select Move Object. And then we'll see the different mat options to move it to. And I'm going to move it to the first mat. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing for my yellow mat. And so now I'll have all my letters on the same mat. And don't worry too much about it being all the same color for now. And I'm going to adjust the letters so that it will match up with the vinyl that I will place on the mat to cut. And now we're set. So I'm going to click Continue. And then I'm going to pick Everyday Iron-On for my base material, and I'm going to click Go. Now I'm ready to cut, and I'm going to prep my mat with my vinyl pieces. I've pre-cut my pieces of vinyl, and I'm going to lay each of them down onto the mat and make sure the right color vinyl is placed where I want it to cut. And since we're working with iron-on vinyl, you want to make sure to lay down the vinyl with the shiny side down. So I'm going to do that for each of my vinyl pieces. And then I'm going to take my brayer and I'm going to roll over the vinyl to make sure it's on the mat pretty good. And then next, I'm going to load my mat into the machine and select go. And for the sake of time, I'm going to speed up this part of the video. And once the cutting is done, I'm going to unload the machine and click done. And then I'm going to remove the pieces from the mat. So now I'm going to turn on my mini press to get that warmed up. And while that's warming up, I'm going to take my weeding tool and weed out the excess vinyl from the pieces so only the design is left. So I'm going to continue weeding through all the letters. And I actually really love weeding vinyl. I don't know what it is, but there's just something so soothing about it. Anyway, now my weeding is done and my mini press is turned on and ready to go. I need to figure out what the heating guide settings are to be able to iron on my vinyl to the luggage tag. And so I'm going to go back to Cricut Design Space and click on the Home tab and go to the Cricut Heat Guide icon on the left here, and it'll take me to the website for the heating guide. And I'm going to select the Cricut Mini Press and the Everyday Iron-On and the base material as faux leather. And this is pretty handy. It will show me all the settings and instructions to how I should heat my vinyl. So I'm going to get my luggage tag and I'm going to remove the insert first. And I'm going to place my luggage tag down and I'm going to preheat for 5 seconds as the heating guide suggested I do. So I'm taking a piece of butcher paper to protect the material and my mini press is set. So I'm going to just rub gently for 5 seconds and get that preheated and wait to cool down for a little bit. And then I'm going to take my vinyl pieces and I'm just going to trim them down just a little bit. And I'm going to line up my pieces to make sure that they're going to set properly and all looks good. So I'm going to start with the white piece, bottom layer. It's going to make sure that's stuck on pretty good. And I'm going to take my butcher paper and my mini press and roll my mini press over the design for 30 seconds. And once that's done, I'm going to remove the butcher paper and let it cool down. And now it's cooled down, I'm going to remove the clear transfer sheet. And then I'm going to place the orange letter A over the white one. And then just make sure it's lined up again, and then it's ready to press. So I'm going to do the same thing and take some butcher paper and follow the same settings. And then take my mini press and firmly put pressure and iron on my second letter. And once that's done, I will remove the butcher paper and let it cool down before I remove the transfer sheet. In the meantime, I'm going to do the same thing with the pink luggage tag. I'm going to preheat the tag as well, line up my design, and follow the same settings and steps as the other tag. So I'm going to line up my letters, and then since my transfer sheet isn't really sticking on there, I'm going to use a little bit of transfer tape to make sure it stays in place, and then line up the top letter just to make sure it's placed correctly. And then that looks good. So it's ready to be pressed. So I'm going to repeat the same steps and place some butcher paper and press with my mini press over the design for 30 seconds. All right, so that's done, and I'm gonna let that cool on the side. And in the meantime, I'm going to remove the transfer sheet from my first luggage tag now that it's cooled down, and it's all set. I'm going to put that on the side for now. And now I'm going back to my second luggage tag, and it looks like it's cooled down. And now I can remove the transfer tape. And then I'm going to take my second letter E and place it on top of the first E and make sure it's all lined up. And that looks good. And now we're ready to press. So I will repeat the same steps and place my butcher paper on top of my design. And I'm going to take my mini press and firmly press over my design for 30 seconds. And once I'm done with that, I will remove the butcher paper and let it cool down, and I can remove the transfer sheet. And that's it. I think they turned out pretty good, and I just love the bright colors. Also, just a reminder, for all the materials and supplies that I've used in this project, I will link them down in the description below. Thanks for watching.